Welcome back, viewers. In today's video, we are going to start with the Gecko Linux reviews. So, just to summarize quickly, what is the difference between the Gecko Linux and OpenSUSE? Gecko Linux, as you know, is based on OpenSUSE. So, Gecko Linux comes with an offline installable live DVD and USB image for the static and rolling editions, whereas the OpenSUSE has a non-live DVD USB installer, a net installer image, or a tumbleweed live DVD USB with a net installer options. So you can see it here. I have installed 3 virtual machines. 2 of them are static. So I use the different ISOs. So Gecko has static ISOs and the rolling ISOs. And in the static and rolling ISOs, there are further ISOs which belong to each desktop. So each desktop will have one ISO to install in static as well as the rolling releases. And Gecko Linux offers customized editions optimized for different desktop environments, whereas the OpenSUSE requires the user to install patterns and packages for different desktop environments. So here you can see, if you want to install the Budgie static desktop, so you have to choose the ISO, download it, and then install. So during the installation, the installer will not offer you to install the different desktops, whereas in OpenSUSE you have to select the desktop to be installed. So there is one common installer, and it can install all the desktops that are available. At least all major desktops that are available are there in the installer. And to install some of the lesser used desktops, you have to use the patterns from the YAST software installer. So this is the major difference. Then the next difference is that some proprietary media codecs are not installed by default in OpenSUSE, wherein the Gecko Linux, it is installed by default. And Gecko Linux prefers packages from the Pacman repo when they are available, while the OpenSUSE prefers the packages from their own repos. For example, packages from their factory repo, packages from their restricted codecs repo, all those kinds of repos that are available in the OpenSUSE repos are preferred over the Pacman. And if you want to install codecs from the Pacman repo, you have to increase the priority of the Pacman codec or the Pacman repo over the default OpenSUSE repos. And Gecko Linux does not force the installation of additional recommended packages after the package system installation, whereas the OpenSUSE pre-installs patterns and automatically installs recommended package dependencies. So what happens is, when you choose to install some package in OpenSUSE, it will also install the recommended packages by default, wherein Gecko Linux, you can install the only required package, and the dependencies are not forced on you. Gecko Linux pre-installed packages can be uninstalled with all their dependencies, whereas the OpenSUSE patterns cause uninstalled packages to be automatically reinstalled. For example, say if you uninstall any pre-installed packages, then what will happen in OpenSUSE is, due to the pattern configuration, some of the packages might get reinstalled automatically during an update, whereas in Gecko Linux this does not happen. If you uninstall a package, the package and the dependencies will remain uninstalled. They will not be installed because there is no concept of patterns in Gecko Linux. Gecko Linux does not use any pre-installed package kit, which often interfere with the underlying Zyper package management system. So if you have used OpenSUSE, you might be knowing there is a package kit app. So sometimes what happens is, some packages when are installed using the package kit, they will interfere with the underlying Zyper package management system, and then you can have a mismatch or a mess up of the packages. So this will not happen in Gecko Linux. Okay, so now what we will do is I will close this and we will do the review of the different packages from the static and the rolling branch in Gecko Linux. I will not go with the installation because you already know the installation, and I will specify how the desktop were installed, but I will not show you the installation, how the installation is done. So we will skip the installation part, but I will definitely show you the different desktop and which partition type, which file system I had installed during the installation, and we will directly check this out in the desktop review itself. So that will save us some time, as well as it will reduce the number of videos that are released on channel. So people don't want to see the installation again and again. So we will handle the Gecko Linux like this. So let us start. I will just close this down. Let us start with the static Budgie desktop. So I will during the start of the video I will just share with you the partitioning method that I have used, the file system and the swap option that I have chosen. So let it boot first. Okay, so this is the greeter screen of Budgie Static Desktop in Gecko Linux. You can see here in the session chooser, you can see there are two sessions, that is the ISWM session and Budgie desktop session. So the ISWM session is default in OpenSUSE. So if you install any desktop in OpenSUSE, it will come with additional ISWM session. So it is a minimal session, and suppose there is something happens with your Budgie desktop, it does not boot up, you can always use the ISWM session to boot up, go into your system, and then you can save your important files. So it is kind of rescue session, you can say, the ISWM session. Then you have got this language chooser, the calendar and date time function is there, and then you have got this power menu. So let us log in into the Gecko Linux static Budgie desktop. So for this Budgie desktop, I have used the auto partitioning system. So I have used the MBR with auto partitioning. So system will erase the complete disk and auto partition and install the Gecko Budgie Static Desktop. I have used swap with no Hibernate and the BTRFS file system for this Gecko Budgie Static Desktop installation. So now let us discover the Budgie Static Desktop of Gecko Linux. So you have got the Budgie panel at the top. This is the application menu. This is the workspace chooser. You can add more workspaces. You can remove the workspaces. The calendar and notifications area is at the center, just like in GNOME desktop. On the right side, you have got the clipboard. The network manager is there. The volume control is there. The power menu is there, and this is the Raven. So you can have this Raven tile up coming from the right edge of the screen, and it will show you the calendar function, the simple volume control. You can play some music from here also, and you can control your apps and devices from here. For example, the mic can be controlled from here. At the bottom, you have got this power menu, the screen lock is there, and the system settings is there. So it is a quick shortcut to these three settings. At the bottom there is the dock. You have got the Mozilla Firefox, the Budgie desktop settings is there, the Budgie control center is there. You can launch the YAST. YAST is a group of OpenSUSE utilities to administer your system, and this is the file manager. So now, and on the desktop you can find the language installer. So you can install the language of your choice from here. So by default the American English is used as a default language, but you can change to the language of your choice. You can use this, and you can see it is opening up the Xterm. So the language installer is working as a TUI. So you get a TUI, that is the terminal user interface, to install the language of your choice. So first thing, it is retrieving the repository lib 15.4 OSS metadata. So since this is the first usage after the installation, it will first update the repos and then offer you a choice of languages. You have to select the languages from this TUI. If you want, we can enlarge this so you can get a better look at the language installer. Let us see what happens. This distro specific tools I always focus because some of them are very great and they offer a great user flexibility and user functionality. So these are all this kind of applications and features make a Linux distribution stand out against a big ocean of Linux distribution. So you can see there are thousands of Linux distribution, and such applications features make a Linux distribution stand out and can make it very popular because it eases the work of users and makes the Linux distribution more friendly. You can see it here. It is still building the lib 15.4 repository. It is syncing the repositories. I think the repository sync is almost complete now. You can see the lib 15.4 OSS repo is there. Non-OSS repo has been configured by default. The updates OSS, updates SLE repo, the updates backport repo. So these are all the repos that are configured by default in your Gecko Linux. And there is this updates non-OSS also repo. Then the NVIDIA repo is also there. Pacman lib, I told you just we have seen the difference between Gecko Linux and OpenSUSE. So the Pacman repo is there by default. Skype repo is there. So all these repos you can see on the screen are there by default, configured by default in Gecko Linux. So now it is going to install the language selection. I think it will install. Let me check what is going to get installed. So I think it is installing the, yes, it is installing the language support right now for the desktop. You can see it here, the desktop translations. Then these are some other packages. Then there are language packages for the Firefox and the Mozilla Thunderbird. Let us see what happens. Let's see here, the Mozilla Firefox version is 102.11.0 that is getting installed. And Mozilla Thunderbird 102.11 is getting installed. And the GTK packages are getting updated along with the standard C++ library, Mozilla NSPR, Mozilla NSS, Mozilla Thunderbird and the Mozilla Firefox are getting updated. So now henceforth I will more focus on the distribution specific features, packages, applications rather than going through the desktop because it is quite boring to check out the same things again and again. I will just show you which packages are installed in the application menu. We will take a look at the wallpapers. We will check out the different applications, packages and features of the specific Linux distribution. That's it. So rest of the things now you are expert, and if you want to go in detailed reviews, you can check out my older videos where I have checked out the desktop in detail. So no need of doing the same things again and again. So I think it is doing the update. Now meanwhile, let us check out the applications that are installed by default. So in accessories section, you can see the calculator is there, Mate search tool is there, Parcel Lite is there. So it is a clipboard manager, lightweight clipboard manager. The text editor is there. In graphics section, you got the image viewer, LibreOffice Draw, and the Pix image viewer. In internet section, just the Firefox is there, Pidgin chat messenger is there, Thunderbird is there, and the transmission BitTorrent is there application. In Office, you have got the LibreOffice Suite. In other section, you have got the Budgie control section. SAX3 is there, and the YAST software utilities are there to manage your system. So we will go and check what is SAX. So it is the SUSE Advanced X configuration. So that we will check out. Now in the video and sound section, you have got the Clementine player, you have got the pulse volume control, and the VLC media player is there. In the system tools, you have got the advanced network configuration, Budgie desktop settings, dconf editor, the disk is there, files is there, gparted edition is there. What happens? There is some, yes, gparted partition editor, print settings, and the SUSE image studio image writer is there. And in utilities section, again there is some issue. So this is, these are some small bugs you can see, or maybe because this update is going on in background, it is refreshing the application menu. So that is more possibility. You got archive manager, document scanner, document viewer, RxVT terminal is there, Unicode terminal, RxVT Unicode 256 color terminal is there, screenshot is there, system monitor, and the terminal is there. So now we wait for the language installation to complete. Now it is, you see, after the installation, it is now locating and installing other language packs. So it might take some time. So it has directly started to download certain packages. You can see it here, all the different packages that are getting installed. So it will install some updates are also there. Upgrades and updates are there. So those will be installed. So what we can do is, let us go to the system tools. Let us find out the disk usage. So here you can see, as I have told you, I use the swap partition. So here I use the swap with no Hibernate option. So there were two options in swap, either swap with Hibernate or swap with no Hibernate. So I have chosen the no Hibernate option. In no Hibernate option, the swap partition is smaller in size, around 2.5 GB. If you use the swap with Hibernate option, then the swap partition size will go above around you can say 6 GB to 8 GB. So it increases in size to accommodate for the hibernation feature. And you can see the ButterFS file system is there in the root partition. So this is the partitioning system that I have used. I have used the auto partitioning with MBR style partitions. So you can see the MBR style partitions are there. So that's it for the partitioning system. Now let us go back to system tools. Now what we do is, let us check what we can check out. Yes, SAX3 will do it later. Meanwhile, we can open the YAST. I will do a quick look in the YAST. So you already know the YAST. I have done a detailed review on the YAST system utilities in the OpenSUSE playlist. So you can check out the OpenSUSE playlist. And now let us check out the YAST. So here the YAST control center is just like you get in your OpenSUSE. You have got the media check, the online update, the software management, and the software repositories are there. In hardware section, you get the system keyboard layout, the printer is there. In the system section, you got the bootloader, date and time, the language installer is there, network settings, system editor is there, that is the dconf. The partitioner is there, the services manager is there, the host names are there, the NTP configuration, the proxy configuration, the remote administration, that is the VNC configuration. In security and users, you have got the firewall, the security center is there, sudo is there, and the user group management is there. In support section, you have got the release notes. In the miscellaneous section, you can display the systems log. The alternatives are there. So this to manage the update alternative switching and the file system snapshot. So these are the button FS snapshot management tool. So now let us open the firewall. Let us see the firewall configuration. I think it will take some time to open up. Meanwhile, we can do a hide tab. Yes, so the updates are going on. Let the updates complete. Yes, so you can see we clicked on the firewall configuration, and now the firewall daemon is to be installed. So daemon does not get pre-installed. When you select the firewall configuration from the YAS control center for the first time, it will offer you to install the firewall daemon. So you have to select it for the installation, and it will get installed once this update and upgrade is completed, because the package manager is locked, the repos are locked right now. So it will wait for this upgrade and update to complete. After that only the firewall daemon will be installed. You can see it here. So the installation is about to complete, and it is using Dracut for the system configuration and generation of the init. Yes. So here it is saying, just we go back to this language installer. So you can now manually install any other language pack under the language tab in the YAS software. Nokogiri was built again. Yes. So now we can install the language pack. So yes, so firewall is getting installed, firewall daemon. So that's it. The firewall daemon is installed. I think two YAS software managements have got installed. Yes. So now the firewall has started up. The firewall daemon has started up. It is asking the current status is inactive. After writing configuration, do you want to keep the firewall inactive or you want to start the firewall? So we will choose the start firewall option, and after the reboot, what you want to do? So I am choosing the start on boot, and the rest of the things you can configure as per your requirement. So how to do it? You can check out the manual, firewall manual. So I am not going in that detail. So that's it. So we will accept, and the firewall will start henceforth, and after every reboot it will start along with the system. So we can retry this. So maybe something, some updates might come up. Okay, I think there is nothing to further to be updated. Okay, now one thing what we can do is, let us check out the repositories. So I have told you the repositories that are installed. You can see it here: lib 15.4 OSS, lib 15.4 non-OSS, updates OSS, updates SLE. So this is the base of the lib system of OpenSUSE. It is based on the SLE, OpenSUSE SLE, or not OpenSUSE, SUSE LSE SLE version. So it is using the base from their proprietary software system. This lib 15.4 updates, backport update is there, and the updates non-OS is there. The NVIDIA, Pacman and the Skype stable repos are also installed by default. And this is the languages section. So you can install languages from here also, or you can go, I will just close this down. You can also install the languages from here. So here now you can install the languages. So there are two options: either install the languages from the YAS control center, or you can install it from here also. This is the YAS software repository, or the YAS software manager. You can see it here. This is the YAS software manager. So there are two options: either install it from here. So let us try to install the yes, India English. So we just click it here and it will install. What happened? And, what happened? Primary language you can change over. Right now we keep the primary language as it is. So we go So it is not offering. I will cancel this right now. What I will do is, let us, okay, so only the YAS control center is there. So let us try to install the language. So this is only offering English UK and English US. It is not offering. Yes, so because it is not offering is because the local pack is not there for the Indian. Only the Hindi is offered, Gujarati and Marathi is offered. Only some languages are offered from the Indian local. The Indian English is not offered. So for that you will have to use the software management. You open the software management. And one thing you have noticed, there is no need for the password. So in OpenSUSE, whenever you try to open any app from the YAS control center, it requires a password, but here no password is required. So now what I will do is, I will just go over to this India English. This is the local also. So it will install the local as well as the Indian English India language pack. Yes, so we have to continue. So there are two MySpell Indian English and the MySpell Great Britain. So it is selecting by default the Great Britain English. So that's it. That's okay. So now the language installation is done. So there are some differences in the installation of packages between OpenSUSE and the Gecko Linux. But it is very, you can see this is very fast compared to OpenSUSE. In OpenSUSE, everywhere you have to install a password. So it makes the system more secure, but less user friendly. So if you want to install anything, you have to continue. If you don't want to install any more package further, you have to finish. So we have checked out the language selection, language installation. We have checked out how the system updates. So now let us check out this alternatives. What is the alternatives? Yes, so there are the alternatives: debug launch, default display manager, auto, default session desktop, that is also auto, and the GTK update icon cache. So icon caches will get updated in background. It is also auto. So you can change the priority from here. You can set it to automatic mode also, or you can set it to the manual mode also. So this was the alternatives app of the YAS control center. Now let us try out the security center. So here in the security center, you can do the security settings for the password, boot settings, login setting, user addition, user administration, miscellaneous settings. You can see it here. You can do all things, and you can do a security overview of each facet of your operating system from here. So this is it. So what I will do is, now we will close this. We have done quite a bit and shown you the difference between OpenSUSE and the Gecko Linux. Now what we will do is, we will check out if some further system tools are there. And this SUSE Studio image writer, this is also default in OpenSUSE. It is default here in Gecko Linux also. So it is very easy tool to write a ISO image to your USB device. You have to just insert the USB device, it will get detected. You have to select the USB device that was detected. You have to drag and drop the ISO image that you want to write here, and just you have to write. That's it. It's very simple and it's very effective. It does not have any errors. The work is foolproof. Yes. Now let us check out what is SACS. So you have to input your password here. In very few locations, the Gecko Linux is asking for password. In rest, everything you can go straight ahead. The user is already verified and he is given all the accesses. Now let us see what happens. It should open up your desktop settings in TUI. Let us see what happens. Nothing has happened. It should have opened up the TUI settings. Anyway, we will open it again. Let us see if it works or not. Yes. Now let us Try to open the monitor. So this is working in the Gecko bare bones, that is the IWM session, but it is not working here. So this is how we do a thorough checking. So many of the reviews you have seen on the internet, they will not do all these things. We are doing it. Our channel is one of the unique channels doing a detailed reviews. We are checking out the different applications that different Linux distributions have for their users, and many of the applications, most of the times the applications work as they are intended to do, but in some of the Linux distributions those special applications do not work. For example, this is the example, the SAX3 application is not working for the Budgie desktop, but it is working in the bare bones IWM edition. So during my trials with the Gecko Linux, I tried the Gecko Linux IWM session and there it was working. So I already installed the virtual machine for the review and it should work there also. We will check it in the next video. So next video we will be doing the Gecko Linux bare bones edition, that is the IWM desktop or the window manager. Now let us try to customize. So here you can see this is the customization for the desktop. So the wallpapers are not there. So for wallpapers we will have to open the Budgie desktop settings. Let us open the Budgie desktop settings. Go over to desktop. No, it is not there. Fonts, Raven. So it is not there. Yes, style is there. Yes. Let us check. Built-in theme is there. Dark theme. Let us try to do the dark theme. So dark theme is working properly. Animations, you can start and stop. Icons, cursors, let us try out the icons. So elementary XFC icons, let us try. And the cursors, we can go with the Mate black cursors. Now let us see what effect these have got. So these are the elementary XFC icons. We can go with the different styles. Oh, a lot of styles are there, widget styles. So let us go with black Mate. So this is the change. We can see it here in the widget style. We can go with black Mate border. Blue Menta border. Blue Menta submarine. Contrast. So contrast, nothing much is there. Green Laguna, yes, this is showing up. Green Laguna border. Submarine. Gecko dark. Gecko light. Graybird Gecko light. Graybird Gecko light accessibility. Okay, high contrast, not much change. High contrast, inverse. This is good looking. Menta is there. Menta border. Unix we already seen. Plata compact. Plata lumine. Compact. Plata noir compact. Shiny. Traditional green. And the traditional okay theme. So we will keep the Unix theme only. Now let us try to do elementary XFC darker icons. Let us see what is the change in the icons. Not much change is there. You can see very slight changes are there. We go with paper cursors. We go with paper icons. Yes, now there is a big change. Now we have got the icons and cursors as the paper theme. So you can see here there is a big change in the icons. Cursor I don't see much change, but the icons have definitely changed a lot. Paper mono dark, let us go with the paper mono dark. Yes, this also is changing the icon sets. Okay, so the dark theme is working, the widget themes, icon themes, cursor themes, all are working. There is no much of a issue. It is all good looking things. Now what we will do is, nothing in the Raven is there, nothing is there. I already shown you how to configure the panels and Raven in one of the Budgie desktops review that I've done earlier. So I'm not going into much detail again and again. So let us open the Budgie control center. Let us open the Budgie desktop settings. Was there? Yes. So in the background set, now we have to check out the background. So you can see you can have the. Let us see if it gets applied or not. So the wallpaper is not getting applied, but it should get applied. So this is the OpenSUSE wallpaper. Okay, so it is not happening. So what we will do is, let us try to install, let us go with the system tool. Where is the terminal? Yes. Let us open the terminal and we try to install variety. Variety. So that will install the variety wallpaper manager. Let us see if it works. ELP is there. Let me just check. Where is the book? Let us say yes. Let us see what happens. Yes, variety is there. You can see it here, variety. So it will install variety, but along with variety, lot of different dependencies are getting installed. So those are quite a lot of them. You can see ImageMagick is getting installed. ImageMagick configuration is from the SUSE. Let us see. And meanwhile, let us see why the background is not getting applied. You can see it here. The background is not getting applied. Yes. And the Gecko Linux wallpaper is lost. You can see it here. The Gecko Linux wallpaper is not going, it is not changing, and here the Gecko Linux wallpaper has disappeared from the background selection. So it is a bug, I don't know, but definitely it is not working for me on the virtual machine. So let the variety finish, then we will try to install some good wallpaper. So variety is finished installation. So we will try to install run variety and install some wallpapers. Yes, welcome to variety. You have to just accept and continue. So you can just add your favorites and all those things, and then I am not going to do much of the settings here. I will just accept the default settings. What happened to variety? Yes. Okay. Variety. Let me add it to. We should add it somewhere here to get the indicator icon is dark. Okay. So we can have wallpapers for the login screen also. Okay. Yes, so the variety is there. Now let us go for the. Yes, it is now working. You can see It's looking fantastic looking wallpaper. We can go with another wallpaper. It should work. Yes, this is looking very nice. This wallpaper is looking excellent, and you can see the level at which the now desktop looks gorgeous, and it is very attractive. So you will be glued to your desktop with such kind of wallpapers. Looks very nice. The warm colors are very soothing for your eyes, and you will not feel irritated with the screen brightness. And the screen brightness also gets kind of can say adjusted, and it becomes more comfortable for your eyes. Now let us check out if anything else is to be done. Yes, I think there was this system monitor. Let us check out the memory usage. That was important. So here you can see these are the all applications processes running in the system RAM. The memory usage, you can see it here, at the most 8% for any of the CPUs, logical CPUs. It is hovering between 0 to 8%. Memory usage is around 1.4 GB. It is almost equal to any Gnome desktop. Not much difference between Budgie and Gnome desktop. You can see it here. Swap usage is just 4.7 MB. And you can check out the file system. It is using 5.9 GB out of that 16.8 GB. So it is a middleweight operating system, not very heavy, not very light. It is comfortable for most of the users. So they don't have to have big partitions for the root. You can install it on a 200 GB hard disk also, or a 200 GB SSD also. And the snapshots, the TMP, VAR, everything has been properly done. System is quite light for usage. And as such, the Budgie desktop does not have that many features as compared to Gnome desktop. It is a lighter side of the Gnome desktop, so there are very less bugs and chances of corruption, any issue for the user. It just works. And the updates, you see, I think around 2 years, in 2 years we get a major update. Only minor patches and updates are there to the features. All the major updates come in around 2 years, so you can get a very stable experience out of the Budgie desktop. And Budgie desktop will not disturb you with different notification, all those things. It is all very neat and clean desktop. And with this, I think I will stop the video here. See you in the next video. Bye bye.